Welcome to Lunar Learning Hub. I'm going to walk you through a case study for one manufacturing company who are into packaging, and they had an issue with high turnover, and management suspected that this high turnover could be as a result of employees leaving certain departments. So, management actually tags the HR analyst to uh, investigate the issue and also make some recommendations. And before we start, one thing that I would want you to uh, understand is that you can start your people analytics journey with Excel, Microsoft Excel. So uh, don't think too far from what you have at hand. And in our various workplaces, most of us have access to Excel. And uh, it is also known that Microsoft Excel is the highest uh, software that is being used across the globe. So I would want you to have that understanding that if you are an aspiring analyst, being it HR, business analyst, you can always start with Excel. So let's quickly go through our case study now. The case study is you are an you are the HR analyst at Lunara Learning Hub Manufacturing Limited, a Ghanaian based packaging company. Management suspects high turnover in production and logistics departments. You've been asked to analyze the data to one, identify where attrition is highest, two, find common patterns in the data, being it gender, salary, tenure, or by job level. You are to find common patterns in the data. Three, you are to recommend actions to reduce turnover that is happening. So let us go to our data. This is our data set. I'll walk you through briefly. This is our employee ID. We have our gender. We have the ages of the employees, the various departments. We have the job level. We have the hire date, the exit date. We also have the status, indicating employees who have left and those who are currently with the organization. We also have salaries by these employees and a column for why they left, the reasons why these employees left, their position. We usually have these reasons during exit interviews. So this is of the reasons that were given by the employees. So we have them here, and we are going to calculate the number of years each employee has spent with the company. This is going to actually help us to know the number of people that have left and their period of stay with the company. We are also going to look at our attrition. We are going to have our risk band for the status of the employees. So we are going to indicate those who have left the company with the number one and those who are still with the company with zero. So let us calculate for the number of years that each employee has spent with the company. So we are going to do that by determining the difference between the hire date and the exit date. I already have the formula here. Third, so we have the years of service by each employee. Let us also calculate for the attrition. So the status, if the employee is still with the company, we are going to represent it with our risk band of zero. If the employee is actively with the company presently, we are going to represent that employee with zero. If the employee has left, we are going to represent that employee with one. So here, our risk band span from the range of zero to one. So we have it here. The employees who are active to be zero, they are still there, and those who left. Let us go ahead to insert our pivot tables. So let us insert our pivot table. So now let us answer our first question. Identify where attrition is highest. So here we can rename this. So now we have um, our attrition here by department. So from the table, you could realize that the highest attrition occurs at the production department, followed by the sales department. So we can quickly sort this. So, okay. Let us filter by department to know the concerns of the employees that are leaving. Let us do for HR. You realize that only few people have left from the HR department with different reasons. Being we have career change, retirement, and contract ended. Being one person that doesn't really call for any attention. Let us do for logistics. We have retirement and health issues. I think we have two people from the logistics department. With the production department, you- we have 9 employees from the production department, and 6 of them had their major concern on health issues. Then 3 moved for better offer. The research and development, you realize that we had 2 people from the research and development department. Then with the sales department, we have 6 employees who had left. Attrition by tenure. So let us group them, the years. So we have attrition by tenure, and you could realize that most of the employees that have left are people that have been with the company for less than 2 years, which is a matter of concern because it indicates a sign of early attrition. Let's uh, calculate for the attrition by salary. Let's drop our attrition here too as well. So we are going to calculate for the average salary by each employee that had left. So we have the average salary of each employee that left. So now that we've been able to determine the average salary of these employees that left, let us go ahead to uh, investigate further whether there is any kind of pay disparity among these employees in the organization. So we have our average salary by each department in the organization. So let us also calculate, let us go ahead to calculate for the pay gap. So we have 31% favoring the males. So in calculating for pay disparity, whenever you get a positive sign, it indicates that um, based on the formula that you use, when you get a positive sign, it indicates that the salary favors the males. And when you get a negative sign, which also connotes that the salary favors the females. So the formula that I used was the male average male salary minus the average female salary, all divided by the average male salary. I remember they are all in totals. So let's do a drop down. So we realize that in the logistic department, we are getting negative number, which indicates that the salary tends to favor the females. And that of the production department, we have 12%, which favors the males. You could see that even from the table. We can also go ahead to check the attrition, the per attrition according to the people that left. So with this, you can just put in your attrition to filter quickly. So we have it here. then so you realize that from the beginning, I made mention that we are using one to represent those who have left and zero to represent those who are still active. So zero meaning these employees are still with the company. Therefore, you realize that those who are still with the company in the HR department, 21% of the salary favors the males, 60% of the salary favors the female in that of the logistics department. With the production department, 2% favors that of the male. Even with that, you realize that there is not so much of a difference between both gender. The same applies to the research and there that 23% of the salary which are being paid to these employees favors the male. And with the sales department, we can also see that 5% favors the female. Let us do same for the employees that have left. We have logistics, almost 200% favors the female, and with the production, you realize that among those who had left, 3% of the salary actually favors the female, and with that of the research department, 22% from the table favors the male. Then with the sales department, 4% favors the female. So you could see this error sign here. Uh, it communicates that we are having a number being divided by zero. So we can either ignore this error by using the error function. But personally, what I think uh, this could be is probably there are no females that have left the company yet. So let us check if that is true from the table. Let's insert the filter by gender. Let's check for. All right, so that's true. None of them were males. So that is why we are seeing this arrow. So let us see whether we've been able to meet the requirements by management. So the first question was to identify the highest attrition. We realized based on our first table, we were able to determine the highest number of people that are leaving from the production and the sales department. So with this, we've been able to use pivot table to investigate the issue, to determine the root cause of what is actually happening, to know which departments are losing most of their staff. With a second question, the common pattern among tenure, salary, and gender. So we realize that also the female employees are the people leaving most. Majority of the people that are leaving are females uh, compared to that of males. With the tenor, we also were able to determine that there is this sign of early attrition, that most of the people that have left are people that have been with the company for less than 2 years. With the salary, we're able to also um, calculate the pay gap to check whether there's any salary differences being paid among gender in the various departments. So you realize that some of the salaries, the pay favors most of the females, and there are few that also favors the male. So there's this kind of disparity in salary. The payment of salary needs to be reviewed, such as making sure that our salaries are being benchmarked according to industry standard. I would recommend for the company as an analyst who has an HR background is to make sure that these employees are placed on a well-structured onboarding support with the reasons for why these employees are leaving. I would recommend that since most of it is health issues, there has to be an occupational health and safety policy which will help guide their work in their environment. Wellness programs should be initiated to help these employees understand the importance of their health and how it contributes to their work. In a nutshell, we've been able to investigate the root causes of the issue by using pivot table in Excel.